So there's New York, there's LA, and then there's Chicago. I'm obviously biased because it's my hometown, but there's no denying Chicago has a culture all its own. Italian beef, elevated trains, PBR, the bean. Chicago is proud of its blue-collar roots. It's full of incredibly friendly and welcoming people. And the city doesn't shy away from doing things its own way. Just come visit during St. Patrick's Day and you'll see what I mean. And while the Loop, or downtown Chicago, usually steals the spotlight as the tourist destination, today we're heading to the South Side, the home of the White Sox, the University of Chicago, and the Bridgeport neighborhood. Specifically, we're going to Halsted Street between 35th Street and 37th Street. This is Motoblot. I'm your host, Mark Long, and you're listening to Driven to Ride. So, what the hell is Motoblot? It's a 3-day celebration of not just motorcycle culture, but also hot rod culture, mods, rockers, punks, music. It's a moto show done the Chicago way. And Larry Fletcher, or Fletch as he's better known, started the whole thing over 2 decades ago.
We started as Mods versus Rockers Chicago, which was a small event on North Lincoln Avenue, Delilah's. That was just a motorcycle show in 2005. This goes back to 2005. And Mods versus Rockers Chicago was an event that showed cafe racers and scooters. The original Mods versus Rockers were in England in the early 60s. They were kind of rival youth movements that were in the movie Quadrophenia, if you're familiar with the movie Quadrophenia by The Who. That movie kind of shows you the culture of England in the early 60s. When the Mods and Rockers were kind of, the kings of the road with, the Rockers on Triumphs and Nortons and BSAs, and the scooterists were on their Vespas and Lambrettas, and it was post-war England. They were the baby boomers basically of England that were on motorcycles and scooters and things like that, and kind of riding the streets of London and England in the 60s. And the Tunnel Club Chicago was a club I formed in 2005 for like the rocker side of that, the guys that rode the cafe racers, the vintage Triumphs and Nortons and Vincents and cool vintage bikes. And the event evolved through the years. And the interesting thing was in the maybe 2012, 2013, the cafe racer scene was starting to subside, and the cool things was turning into choppers and bobbers. And so at that point, we thought it was ideal to like kind of rebrand to Motoblot. So it wasn't focusing just on scooters and cafe racers, but all things moto, hot rods too, choppers, bobbers, all things motorcycles, just to kind of like cast a wider net with the vintage and the moto community. And that's kind of what happened when we started Motoblot in 2014. And so 2026 was our 13th Motoblot. And including Mods versus Rockers, that took us to like 22 years, basically.
Fletch wasn't alone in starting Motoblot. Among a few others, Johnny Sheff of Motoworks Chicago and MCC Cycles has been involved since the beginning, too. And he's got the most Chicago way ever of getting the show actually started.
So they do something in Chicago. They do construction, or they have temporary tow zone signs. They're made of paper. And
this one right behind us, yeah.
Exactly. So we would make these.
Yeah. Okay.
And this go back to 2005. There were color printers, but it wasn't like, scanning it and having. We probably weren't the only people doing it.
Yeah.
But we would make our own. We'd go to Delilah's. Mike would always be a little nervous about not wanting to piss off the neighbors and wouldn't want us to start too early.
Right.
I think enough time has gone by where I can tell this story. And we would go and put the no parking placards out. So that way, Lincoln Avenue, both sides of Lincoln, from Diversey all the way down to Wrightwood, would be pretty well free of cars. Yeah. So that's your history lesson for what made me want to be involved with the event. This was a street fest that was year 2 of my business at Motoworks.
Oh, wow.
I've known Larry and these guys. There's another guy named Kevin McHugh and Martin Simic involved in that time. Martin's our graphic designer, did our early art. So this, like, the origin story of Motoblot and the origin story of Motoworks are somewhat linked, is the short answer.
As the years have gone on, Motoblot has grown and evolved from a parking lot show into the weekend-long multi-block party that it is today. And someone who can actually talk about that better than anyone is Fletch's daughter, Tenley, who's more or less kind of been to every single one.
I mean, my mom was pregnant with me at the first Mods versus Rockers. That was at Delilah's.
Yeah.
And in the second one, I'm on her lap. And so, I mean, this is my parents' career, really. This is their job. This is their family business. And it's never been like, hey, this is your future. You need to get involved. It was always like, this is what we do. And you're more than welcome to join us, be here, have fun, whatever. They've always kind of left the ball in my park when it comes to how involved I want to be.
Yeah, she grew up at Motoblot, or Mods versus Rockers and Motoblot. We have pictures of her, obviously, from, like I said, when Mario was pregnant with her at the very first one in 2005, and then basically her growing up at each year. So it's fun to go back and look at all the galleries and see her grow up as Princess Motoblot.
I started hands-on work when I was in third grade. We were in my dad's dear friend Sean McHugh's office, and we were talking about plans for Motoblot next year. I think I was just there because it was like after school and I'm hanging out with my dad while he's at work. And I mean, there's no other way to put it. I just had an idea for a VIP room, and I told my dad about it. I didn't really know what I was doing at the time, but I knew if we wanted to elevate our festival and give it that feel, you got to have a VIP room.
Yeah.
It's been so cool to see it evolve. I mean, it started out with just, like he said, like Mods versus Rockers, the Mods and the Rockers literally in a parking lot with however many guys. It started with, like, I can picture the Tunnel Club and our local friends. It was kind of just a community, and more and more people started showing up, and it just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And it suddenly wasn't just like a family event I was going to where, you know, like it to me as a kid, it's just like, oh, it's another one of those weekend plans where I get to see all my uncles, and there's motorcycles, and now there's live music, and now there's vendors. Like it's been really cool to see evolve over the years.
The entire motorcycle industry needs to skew younger. So getting people involved is super key to keeping the motorcycle industry alive and healthy and functioning. And that's a kind of a part of what we try to do with Motoblot is get younger people to show up and come out. And this year was a great year because we kind of tried to do that with the music by bringing in lots of different kinds of music and bands. And it really was a success that way, that we were able to have heavy metal and punk and country punk and rockabilly and psychobilly and everything. You know, and people were super excited about the music this year, so we know we're going in the right direction.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, Chicago's such a big music scene. It makes sense to kind of have the music alongside the hot rods and the motorcycles. And how did you guys decide on Bridgeport? I mean, obviously you had the Remova Theater there, and then you had the bar, and I'm forgetting the name of the bar. Electric Funeral. Thank you. Yeah. I mean, it was, what more do you need, right?
Exactly. Now the bar, there's Stay Lucky Tattoo is on that block.
There's so much.
So having basically Electric Funeral, which is probably one of the hottest new, bars in Chicago, as far as kind of like that punk rock and roll metal scene, it's kind of like your brother's basement to a certain extent, It's such a great bar, and it's, like I said, it's a hot. So going to Bridgeport it's such a historic Chicago city. I mean, it's obviously the home of the Daly family from years back, and the home to the White Sox. Sox Park is just a few blocks away, and it's just a great part of Chicago and a historic part of Chicago. And it's a beautiful tree-lined street. And the Remova Theater was recently renovated and restored to its original grandeur. So having all those elements in one spot was really cool and really created for a great backdrop for Motoblot.
Yeah.
Yeah, the feeling for me was like kind of like a block party that just happened to have like a huge concert and a motorcycle show and a hot rod show. So yeah, there's a lot going on. I mean, there's the bike show, there's the hot rod show, and like Fletch mentioned, music is a huge part of it, with a few dozen rock, punk, and psychobilly bands all hyping up the crowds. Plus, they were giving away free shots of Malort. If you've never had Malort, trust me, you probably won't like it. You'll also find the Valhalla Custom Motorcycle Builders Challenge, an exclusive invite-only competition with less than 10 custom bikes vying for a pretty sick trophy, a 6-foot spear called Gungnir, And this year's Valhalla was pretty special for one super shiny reason.
I won. I won it. I won the whole thing. My name is Morgan Michelle. I am a female motorcycle rider and customizer builder in Winterset, Iowa, is where I live. I was the first female invited builder in 13 years of Motoblot history, which was a huge, huge accomplishment. And I'm super proud to represent the women rider community and be a part of that. When I was there loading up and I noticed I was only female, they were like, yeah, you're the first female builder invited ever. And I guess I just didn't realize how special it was to be there until I was there and informed of that. Surprise, this is a bigger deal than you thought it was. It was crazy because I'm standing up there with these incredible builders who built, their own works of art and put the same amount of time, effort, and love and drive into their bikes. And there were different bikes. There were metric bikes. There were Harley bikes. There were street bikes. Like some guy completely rebuilt his Ducati and it was incredible. And here I am, just a girl from Iowa with my glitter bike. And there's all these people who can do all this crazy mechanical work and build their own tanks and fabricate. And my bike brings people together. But yeah, when I was standing up there and they said the first ever female invited builder, I was like, I still have shell shock from it. But I was like, give me my spear, like I want that. So I got a spear and a plaque and a t-shirt, and it's cool because everything says like Lucky 13 on it, which I think is like really cool. Like of the 13 years of Motoblot history, to be the first ever female invited builder and first ever female winner.
I want to make sure I got this right. Is that so? You started riding and then you immediately started like customizing and became like a builder and customizer right then, like right from the get go.
Yeah, and I mean, being a builder. There's a lot of different people who do different things. So I would say I can assemble things, I can put parts on. I can't do diagnostics on a motor or electrical work. That's somewhere that I want to get into, like fabricating and stuff. But being a female builder to me is more of just the customization, designing the parts, putting the machine together. I did send out my bike to a local shop, Bomber Cycles. He's an amazing chopper builder and super awesome mechanic. And I want to make sure that all people, including myself, are safe when they're riding their motorcycles. So I didn't feel comfortable putting it all back together with the engine and stripping down the electrical. Like I cut a lot of things off, but someone else put a lot of it back together for me.
Getting into the bike a little bit, you said it's a glitter machine, which it totally is in like the coolest way possible. Two questions, really. Did you like have a grand plan or like a grand vision, or did you just kind of wing it and go one piece or one part at a time? And tell me a little bit about like, the final product.
I have always been into disco tiles and tiling things as like an art form around my house. I've just got, I'll disco tile anything. I've got skateboard decks. I've got a carousel horse that I'm working on. And once I got it all together with the tins, it felt like it needed more. So I got a custom seat made from Moonrider, and it's silver glitter vinyl, hand stitched glow in the dark flames and stars and hearts. And then I sat on my bike and I hadn't ridden it yet. And I was like, the frame needs painted. So we took the engine out and had the frame painted. And then I sat on it and I got about 4 or 5 sets of bars. I didn't like any of them. So I drew up bars, my dream bars, which is like a dirt bike style or BMX style bar with a 2-inch pullback. So I sat on the bike and I felled out where I wanted it to be. I drew it and I set it out to Zombie Performance, and he made me the bars of my dreams with integrated risers. And so it all just started coming together, and I disco tiled the Sissy bar, and I had that on there with the tank and everything. And I was like, I need to do a disco tank. So once I put the disco tank on, then I did the derby cover. Then I put some struts on there and disco tiled those. And my foot controls, they have the mounts are disco tiled. There's about 33,000 disco tiles. I went through my purchase history of disco tiles and I added it all up and I was like, damn, this is a lot. So the format is now, it took about a year to get there, just little customizations here and there. But I knew what I wanted it to be. It just needed as much glitter as possible. And every time that I saw an opportunity to put more glitter on it, I did.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's very unique in that fact. And it's like, it does kind of harken back to like the 70s disco kind of era. And if it's worth doing, it's worth overdoing.
Yeah.
And the silver kind of like ties it all together in a really, really nice way. It makes it all cohesive. And, at the sissy bar and the front, the front rake and stuff, it does have that like 70s vibe.
Something that I love about why disco tiling is kind of like my art form. It reflects its environment. If you put my bike in front of a brick building, it'll reflect the brick. If you put my bike on the top of a hill, it reflects the sky. So it really like it just shows like we are all in a reflection of the environment that we're in. And it's really cool because it's broken. It's just broken glass, it's broken mirrors. And so, but then when the light hits it, it sparkles and it shoots glitter, sparkles, sheen, whatever you call it, onto cars, onto buildings when I'm riding. It just means more to me than just a motorcycle. It's kind of just like a reflection of to look for the sparkle. Trying to stay humble about it, but yeah, it means a lot. Like it was a culmination. Like I went through a lot of challenges to get to this point. I had to deal with like a lot of haters. I gotta be honest. And
really?
Yeah, I mean, just no one wants you to feel special, or no one wants you to feel like you're doing good in something that they want to do good at. But then there's a lot of people who support you. So I just feel like it was, I still don't feel deserving, but I'm honored. And to me, I just want to keep inspiring women and keep providing a platform for women to be recognized for the work that they do and the time and effort they put into just being here. It's not easy to exist as a female who's doing something impactful in this community, and to be chosen just felt like a little validation for what I've put so much work and effort and passion and love into for the last 2 years of putting that thing together. And my first goal ever was to just be an invited builder. When I made my bike, I was like, I just want to be invited somewhere. Like, I don't care what it is or where it is. I would love to be invited. I just want to see it at the table. And I got that. And I won amongst some really incredible people. So it's validating, but it's humbling too.
Big congratulations to Morgan on winning the Valhalla competition. I think it just goes to show that Motoblot is a unique show because Chicago motorcycle culture is unique. I mean, you'll find a huge cross-section of the Chicago motorcycle scene at this show, and it really doesn't matter what you ride. American, German, Japanese, Italian, scooters, whatever. There's just kind of one rule.
Yeah, this side of the motorcycle scene, I think, is really just like no jerk supply, and everyone else is welcome. It's super inclusive, and you have different, different styles, different genres, people that are passionate about different types of the lifestyle, different types of the machines. But, we're all Chicago people. There aren't that many of us. And overall, it's a really welcoming, inclusive group.
Chicago riders, I mean, they're hardcore riders, right? Because Chicago is not an easy city to be a motorcyclist in, or even Northern Illinois for that matter.
Sure.
We don't have the best riding or the best roads. You have to get out of Chicago to enjoy that, right? But our riders are commuters. Many of them, they ride daily in this. It's kind of like urban assault vehicles on their motorcycles, right? They have to get through Chicago on a daily basis with our crazy weather and our crazy roads, and doing our bike nights and all these things we do all year. It unites everybody basically. And I think Chicago riders are very united, trying to stay safe out on the roads, and they like to hang out and kick tires together and talk about their bikes and their builds. So it's kind of a Chicago thing.
Yeah.
Between the not having a huge long riding season and the fantastic traffic and driving situation in the
Exactly.
Chicagoland area. Yeah, it makes a special breed. So
Yeah, I mean, just going off of what he said, it's like we pick people up on the way that we go, if that makes sense. Throughout the year, we have so many different events going on, not just us, but in the community. And what's different is in New York and LA and different coasts, it's different groups. Like you have your Harley riders, your Triumph riders, your Ducati riders, or just strictly Italian, German, what have you. But here, I'd say it doesn't matter what you ride. These are just events for all of you to come and just participate at. And there's no necessary, like, I don't know how to put this. There's no real division in culture. We're just all one big family. And it's like, oh, are you going to the barbecue next weekend? Yeah, no, but it's Motoblot, or it's Motorcycle Mondays, or it's Pints and Pistons, or there's just one rotating door of people and new friends that you meet, and it's really cool.
Right after I got off stage, I hugged a few people, and Fletch's daughter was there, and she was like, "I loved your bike," and that's why I do it for the people who, it brings people together. Like, there's so many men in this motorcycle world, but then they have spouses and partners and daughters and kids, and you find them saying, "Come look at this. Oh, my wife's going to love that. Oh, my daughter's going to love that. Let me take a picture of it." And it allows like different generations and different demographics to come together for a piece of art or something beautiful, where they might not have cared at all about, maybe a cool old shovel head, like, "Oh yeah, Dad, that's cool." But like, that's a glitter bike. Like, look at that. And little girls wanting to sit on it.
yeah.
That's why I do it. And I said to Fletch right after, I was like, we need to get more girls here. We need to get more ladies in this event. That was the first thing I said to him. So next year I plan on doing it big. I want to have like a female only custom event area, a ride-in event.
Okay,
so we can have girls come in. They don't have to have choppers. They just bring your bike, bring your custom build, and whatever you did, we want to see it. And I want to have as many girls there as possible from all over the country to be recognized for, standing in such a male-dominated industry.
And it seems like everybody can catch the vibe of the show as soon as they walk in, whether they've been here a bunch of times or it's their first time. You mentioned this is your first Motoblot. It's also our first Motoblot. I want to know what you think.
It's insane. So Larry works with Royal Enfield. I've known Larry, I think, for almost 4 or 5 years now. Okay. We love Larry. He's been asking me to come to this event every year, and I'm
really?
It usually always falls on a race weekend, so I've never been able to come. But this year we were like, all right, let's make it happen. So we packed up the custom bikes, and they're from all over the world, so it's kind of cool to have all the bikes here. But it is so cool seeing all the different, people coming in and out. It's like it's a show for everyone. It's really cool. And then obviously like the cars and everything like that. I love motorcycles, but I love cars too, so that's cool. Some of our coworkers went and got tattoos last night. There's just everything happening. So it's pretty awesome.
That's Jennifer Lewis of Royal Enfield, who admittedly has a pretty sick job.
So I am the program manager for Build Train Race. So I oversee the whole program. We have a road race and a flat track. We have 10 flat track, 10 road race. They're different riders.
Okay.
We have a big semi-truck, and we have the flat track on the bottom and the road race on the top. And then we travel around the country all season long. And we pair with American Flat Track and Moto America. So those are the most highlighted racing, programs, I guess you can say, in the U.S. So we get to go to all the pro racing tracks, and we're part of the race. So the riders are the only riders that race in it. So our Royal Enfield, it's always top finishers on the podium. It's pretty awesome. So I manage all of that and I oversee that. And along with that program, I also oversee all the U.S. custom builds and events on that side of things. So I'm pretty busy, but it's fun.
It's not a bad gig. I mean, being able to see all the custom stuff and go to every racetrack that Moto America and AFT goes to in the country, it's got to be exciting.
It's pretty exciting. It's not for the weak, that's for sure, but it is, it's the most unique job you could possibly think of, so
Nice. Yeah. Can you just give me a kind of a quick overview of what Build, Train, Race is? I mean, it's what it says on the can, but I think there's probably a little more effort that goes into it.
Absolutely. So Build, Train, Race, it is, as you said, it's Build, Train, Race, but we go through a very extensive application process. So riders get to apply, and we go through hundreds of applications, honestly.
Oh, really?
It's pretty awesome. But they have to send in a video, a 2-minute video of explaining why they want to be part of the program, and we kind of get a hint of their personalities.
Yeah.
On top of that, they also have to send in any racing experience, riding experience. And then from there, if you make it to the next cut, we have another extensive kind of interview process that we sit down and we talk to you. And honestly, personality is a huge part of the program because we have 10 riders underneath the tent. We're asking you to go be competitive on the track, come off, and then be racers, or be a teammates. So there's a lot of balance to it. You know, we want you to be competitive, we want you to be dicey, but we also want you to come off and we want you to be teammates. You know, you're helping each other put your bikes on the stands. You know, you're talking about, they're all the same exact bike. So talking about gearing, that's pretty much the only thing they change. So after we do all that application process, we then, if you make the team, it's pretty quick. We turn around, we're asking you what your number is, what color you want your bike to be, etc. Yeah,
You're
so
racing.
it is quick. And then we take them down to Texas and we do a full build week. So they show up and it is a stock bike, fully stock bike. But we have all the parts, all of our sponsored parts are there. And our sponsors are, obviously Royal Enfield is what makes this dream, you know, come true. But our sponsors are what keeps it alive. So it's pretty cool. But yeah, so they, even if they've never held a tool before, we have 3 mechanics there. We teach them how to use the tool. They're learning how to build this bike.
That's
so,
cool. Yeah.
I mean, they're cutting the frame, they're everything, every bit you can think of to make it a race-ready motorcycle. And then after that, we take them to training. So they get a training with Johnny Lewis for flat track, and then Freddie Spencer with the road race. Yeah,
That's
so
Freddie,
he helps.
yeah.
Yep, so he helps with the road race training and coaching. They get an extensive training, and then we go racing. So it's pretty quick.
With the live music, the bike competitions, the motorcycle film showings at the Ramova Theater, Motoblot is clearly more than just a bike show. And big names like MotoWorks Chicago, Progressive, and even Royal Enfield have jumped in to be a part of it.
I've gone to a lot of other, you know, custom world shows and whatnot, and it's kind of similar demographics, you know, everybody kind of is similar vibe, and this, it really is truly like something for everyone to do here. And so I think that's the coolest thing, you know, it just has there's a life to it, you know, there's like an energy when you walk down. It's like everybody's really happy to be here, you know, so like everybody working is really happy. I think the weather's great, so that has been making it really cool. But I've also never been to Chicago, so that's cool too, just to see. So
it's a good town.
Yeah,
it's a good town. I'm a little biased. I'm from here.
Okay.
So, but it's coming to Motoblot and seeing everything motorcycle all at once is kind of what stuck out to me. Is it like it's not just Harleys? Like if you're up in Wisconsin, or it's not just sport bikes. It's not just Japanese. It's not just Italian. It is like, or even off-road and on-road. It's just like everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like Jennifer mentioned, people get excited to come to Motoblot, whether they're just attending or they're working the whole thing. And after spending a weekend there, it's pretty easy to see why people come back year after year.
Oh, seeing everybody, the people. You know, this is, if DGR is prom, for us, Motoblot is homecoming.
Oh, no way. Okay.
And so it's just, you know, there are people that I only see once a year, or maybe people that I hadn't seen yet. It's June. I haven't seen someone yet at a spring event. So, you know, I haven't seen somebody since June, July, August, September, October of the previous year. And, you know, I'm a vampire for human energy. I love hanging with my people. And, you know, this is a reunion.
We've seen people grow up basically just like Tenley has at Motoblot. Couples have met at our events. They've gotten married and have had kids, and now they're bringing their kids to the events. You know, so it's interesting to see how we've affected, you know, kind of the community in that way, because we brought all these people together so many times, and they've met and they've gotten to know each other through these different bike nights and through Motoblot, which is cool.
Yeah. It's kind of like a big Chicago motorcycle family, it seems like.
Yeah. It's a community for sure. Yeah.
What does it mean to have, you know, your daughter and I mean, for God's sake, your whole family involved in this thing that you love so much, and you guys get to spend time and work together and hang out together? And Tenley, what does it mean to you to spend so much time and work on this awesome event and see this idea come to life with your dad?
It's great to be able to have my family be a part of it. Like I said, it's so time consuming, and I know they get sick of hearing about it. I mean, like I said, we just finished up this Motoblot like 4 weeks ago, and we're already like deep in the planning for next year.
Oh, really? Jeez. Okay. Yeah.
Unfortunately, they don't get a break. We come off of 1 year and we're already talking about the next year. Yeah. When you think about it, I mean, it's the end of July, but it's only like 100 days until we announce, tickets are going on sale, for the holidays. We go on sale in November. So we have to make that first announcement here in like 100 days of, who's going to be headlining and where the event's going to be this year, and kind of make it. So once you come off the event, it's like directly into talking, making sure we're getting our sponsors back and we're able to go back to the location, our preferred location, and talking to all the people involved just to, it's nonstop. So it's 12 months a year to do this event. And so they hear about it, and it's awesome to have them involved, because they weren't on board. I don't know how I would do it. Put it that way.
Yeah.
What do you think, Ten?
Well, I mean, growing up, my dad's never had a normal job. I've never been able to say, oh, he works at whatever. He's a police officer. He's in sales. No, he's always been the motorcycle guy. What it means to me is being able to put my skills to work and cultivate my dad's work. It's really looking down the line for myself, because I want to be able to take this on when I'm older. He started it. It's a family business, and I'd like to keep it going. And it's not just because he started it, but this is what I enjoy. I love helping him curate Instagram posts and deciding which song should go where and what order to put the bands in, or what colors look better with this backdrop, like all of it. I love doing that. That's what I'm good at. And so being able to see the ins and outs of this, it's like a cheat. I truly, it feels like I'm so lucky to not only be his kid, but to have this opportunity. And I don't know, I couldn't be luckier.
I love it. It. That's so cool. Well, before I let you go, anything you can tease for next year, guys? Or is it still all under wraps? We got to wait.
It's kind of early. I mean, like I said, we're kind of in the midst of talking to Bridgeport and, meeting with the aldermen and talking to the folks from Volvo and Electric Funeral. But all indications are super positive that we'll be going back there. But we have to get through those final approvals with the folks right there in Bridgeport to make sure that we're welcome back. But all things are looking good. And at that point, then we start cranking on like booking. But we're already looking at bands, but nothing has been locked down yet. That's all going to happen relatively quickly here in the next 60 days, basically, is just dialing in all those details so we can announce in November. Yeah, so nothing new to announce yet, but very soon.
Stay tuned.
Yes.
For now, you've got to get Motoblot on your calendar for next summer. You'll get a real taste of the Chicago motorcycle scene. You'll see a whole hell of a lot of cool bikes, a whole hell of a lot of cool cars, and you'll see that no matter where you come from or what you're riding, you've got an invite to the party. Huge thank you to Fletch, his family, and the rest of the team at Motoblot for having us out and letting us set up shop to meet a bunch of folks. Some of them had even heard of us, and even more crazy, actually subscribed. So thank you for doing that. You can stay on top of everything Motoblot related at motoblot.com, or find them on Instagram, Facebook, all the social medias. Then you can find out when next year's Motoblot is going to be. And hey, if there's an event you think we should cover, let us know either in the comments here or send us a DM at Driven to Ride Podcast on Instagram. We'll see you next time. Thanks for listening to Driven to Ride. Interact with us and check out full unedited conversations, photos, interviews, video interviews, plus other goodies on YouTube or Instagram at Driven to Ride Podcast. Or you can check us out at driventoridepodcast.com. And make sure you leave us a rating and review from wherever you get your podcasts too. If you have an idea for an episode or a guest, or you want to invite us out on an adventure, email us hello@driventoridepodcast.com. Driven to Ride is wholly owned by Flint Rock LLC, made possible with help from Matthew Miles, and written, hosted, and produced by me, Mark Long. We'll see you out there.